Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft Season 5 with me, FalseSymmetry. Last episode we got on with this super awesome area right here, and by the looks my animations still are not on. In fact, I reckon that means my chat is off too, and if so... Okay, no one said hello, good. Okay, I didn't ignore anybody by accident, which is always good news. But yes, there we go. We've got the campfire all set up. I haven't yet built a tent. I want to do that in creative first and build one that's a little bit different than the ones over there. But anyway, today is a very, very special episode. It's probably the episode 100 special, but on episode 101. But actually, that really actually makes a lot more sense than episode 100, because today is going to be a special False 101. Someone said that in the comments. They were like, False 101, that's what it's going to be. Because today is going to be a special question and answers episode. Today, I'm going to do a lot of little things around my area that I feel like I want to do. I'm just going to sort of just do little bits here and there. Maybe work down here. Maybe work a little bit on some of the terrain. Making some trees. Whatever I fancy at the time and whatever I see and want to get on with. These guys down here look amazing. Every time I come down, I'm like, yep. This is pretty impressive. I've got some witch friends which are super, super awesome. So today I'm going to get some comments from the last video and answer the questions that were in them. You guys left lots of awesome questions. If I run out, I'll ask Twitter and see if anybody comes up with any other ones. But honestly, we can always do this again. So any questions you have that haven't been answered today, leave them down below for another time. Anyway, let's get going and answer some awesome False 101 questions. So, first question, while we're answering, we're going to be doing a little bit of terrain work. I realised that right over here, I sort of just stopped randomly, just here, like there's no difference in terrain right here, so we're going to be doing a little bit of that. In fact, I might turn my game sounds down just a little bit so I can hear myself think, and we'll get straight on with the first question. So first up, we have a question from Sarah Donovan, who says, what am I most looking forward to in the next update? Now, honestly, I can't remember exactly all the things that were in the new update, the aquatic update I'm guessing we're talking about here. But one thing I am excited for is actually the, what do you call it? Basically what I thought of as underground leaves, basically. All of the, like, seaweed and all of that kind of stuff. Because I think if there's some variation underneath the water, like coral and stuff, that is going to be the most... The thing that's going to kind of have the most impact and the most differences between, you know, now and then. I think that's going to really, really change the way we sort of just, you know, play the world. Whether or not we're actually building in an ocean or, you know, whatever. Even if you're flying over it, that's, I think, what's going to be the most impactful thing of the whole update. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe there's some things I've forgotten. Dolphins are very exciting. Dolphins actually used to be one of my favourite animals. Not so much anymore, but I still really, really like dolphins. So they're going to be pretty cool. I saw the animations on Twitter of them, and they look really, really, really cool actually, and I reckon you could probably make them jump through hoops and stuff like that in the game or something, and that could be kind of cool. As much as I don't agree with that IRL, animals doing tricks and all that kind of stuff, I think it would be really, really cool to have that sort of thing in Minecraft, and having sort of a pet dolphin almost or something, as that isn't something you can have in real life. Speaking about pets, there is actually a question I have up here about pets too. And it's one of the many, many questions that Becky asked me about. She says, if you could have any pet you wanted that wasn't a typical one, i.e. not a fish, cat, dog or hamster, what would I have? Now, honestly, I don't think I would have a pet if it wasn't like something that would naturally be a pet. So one of the things you've listed, for example. Now, as a lot of you guys know, I used to have a hamster. That was my most recent pet. We've never owned a cat or a dog, but I don't know. I mean, foxes are one of my favourite animals, and I don't know, I've seen a few videos of them as pets. Maybe if they can't go back to the wild, for example, people sometimes own them as pets, and I guess I'd have a fox, because they are sort of very much, well, they're sort of in between cats and dogs, I find. They've got a lot of traits of both animals, so they're sort of like having a dog and a cat in one almost. So I guess that would be the answer. I'd probably have a fox. I don't think there's any other wild animals I can think of that I would have, because I don't know if they would get on with, I don't know, like a lot of wild animals you think of are like huge, so like an elephant, for example. I don't think you could have an elephant as a pet, or like a massive sea animal. But yeah, I guess a fox would be pretty cool. So, also in Becky's list of questions, which was quite nice, do you think you'll have other games on your channel? I really enjoyed the Stellaris content, and I have been enjoying watching you play They Are Billions as well. Yes, They Are Billions is one that I'm into at the moment, but honestly, that's one of those games where I wouldn't see myself doing it as a video series, because I'm not necessarily good at the game. If I knew that I could win every game I played of They Are Billions, I'd maybe do a series, because then I know for a fact that, I don't know, I guess that I would get to the end of the game and you'd have like a full series. Because that's the thing with games like that. I think if you lose at the game and then upload it, I feel like people sort of expect you to do well. Maybe that's, you know, wrong on my part. Maybe I shouldn't think like that. But I do almost think that people don't really want to watch you play a game badly, if you will. So, I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily do something like that on my YouTube channel, but I have always wanted to do a bit more variety content. But really, honestly, the games that are out at the moment, none of them sort of tickle my, tickle my fancy. Tickle my fancy? That's not the, what's the saying? I don't know. But basically, nothing makes me go, you know what, I really, really want to do this game. So, I don't know, I guess I sort of wait and see what comes out, and then depending on that, I'll see if I do any YouTube stuff. But I think for me, I'm probably going to branch out and do more variety on Twitch, more so than YouTube for now. So that is what's going to happen hopefully in the near future. So we're actually going to move on to another question. This is from Claudine Moodley, who has a great name, by the way, who says, do you think that you'll stop doing YouTube? As I realise that many creators have been having issues with YouTube recently, I guess. Do I think I'll stop doing YouTube? At some point, I don't. It's really sad to think about, but I guess at some point there's gonna not be a YouTube anymore, or at least YouTube will have changed so much that it's not the same thing anymore, or something else comes along and replaces it. Because as much as you think that something's gonna last forever, if you think about things like MySpace, for example, or Bebo was another one. I guess I never really thought of them as things that were going to stick around for a long while, but they are things that you have and then they disappear because another website comes along. Now, as much as YouTube is just huge and therefore there isn't really much competition for it at the moment, you can't say that there won't be competition for it forever. That and I mean, honestly, I don't do YouTube full-time. I never say I do YouTube full-time because I can't do it full-time. I do Twitch as well. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I probably couldn't do it, both YouTube and Twitch full-time, without the support from you guys. You guys have been incredible over the last couple of years with support, and without that, honestly, I don't think I would have stuck around on YouTube as long as I have done, because it's just not a viable, job for me necessarily, with my content and the size of my channel and all that kind of stuff. I love to try my best and make videos and all that kind of jazz, but ultimately my channel isn't super huge, as I'm sure everyone's aware. But that's fine by me because I don't make videos for, necessarily to grow and be the biggest YouTuber ever. I don't think that's how anyone should start or do YouTube. But ultimately, yeah, so I think if the support started to dwindle at any point, or, I don't know, changes on YouTube became really, I don't know, more dire than they are already, then, I mean, I guess, I don't know, I mean, I like to say and think that if it wasn't my job, I would continue doing it. But it definitely wouldn't be in any sort of comparison to what I do now. What I do now is I spend an awful lot of time coming up with video ideas and plans and stuff like that. And I think, I don't know, it just wouldn't be the same if I wasn't doing it full time for sure. So that's a massive shout out technically to you guys there, because without you guys, my channel probably wouldn't exist in the same way it does now, which is super awesome, and I'm very, very thankful for that. But yes, so I don't know, I think in everybody's YouTube career there's going to be a time where it's not viable anymore, so who knows, man. Maybe, I don't know, I don't see myself ever getting bored of it, but it's never good to think that something's going to exist forever and then be disappointed. I'd rather be ready for it and know in my mind that maybe it's not a thing that's permanent. But yeah, I'd like it to go on as long as possible because I am thoroughly enjoying doing this grass right here. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying doing YouTube as a whole. It is the most fun job I think I will probably ever have. Well, hopefully not, but it's awesome. So along with that, that sort of question, we have one from Jury Van Limpt, who mentions, where do you see yourself in 10 or 5 years? I mean, I've always heard that it's a good thing to think ahead, like, you know, in 5-year sort of increments. But honestly, I don't really know. Probably because I'm outside of education now. I did actually answer another question. Someone did ask what I did education-wise. The furthest education I got to was I have a degree in graphic design that I'm sure I've mentioned many times before on my Twitch and all that kind of stuff. In fact, I answer a lot of questions on Twitch. Twitch is probably the place to go if you ever have any questions, because 100% I pretty much answer most things over there, like, all the time. But yes, yeah, so I guess I would... If YouTube isn't around then, which I like to think it'll still be around in 5 years, and I'll still be doing it in 5 years, but ultimately, I don't know, if it isn't around, I mean, I have graphic design to fall back on, but it's one of those things that I guess I'd have to get back into properly before I got myself a job in it. So, I don't know, I mean, I like that I've got a backup, because I think that I always recommend that. I think whenever people are like, oh yeah, I just want to be a YouTuber, I'm like, no, get a backup, something else you're interested in, or, you know, go into video making in general, or editing, or something like that, so you have a backup. So I guess in a way I sort of have a backup, but that came before YouTube anyway, so my interest in that. So that will never really go away. I've always had an interest in design, as you guys probably can tell by the fact that I like building in Minecraft more than anything else. But anyway, I think we've done this area pretty well here. I think I might go grab a little bit of bone meal and add a little bit of this kind of stuff in places, just to mix it up for now before we add any extra details and extra buildings and stuff. But anyway, it's got very dark, so let me go have a quick nap and we'll see what else we need to do over here. So whilst I'm grabbing this stuff out of here, I actually just watched that clip back, the whole last few questions, and man, do I ramble. Man, for someone that's not very good with words, I talk an awful lot, when less words would be better. But hey, whatever. Anyway, it's a Q&A episode, so I guess it works. Anyway, I found a few quicker questions to answer, so I thought we'd have a bit of a quick fire round, I guess, and answer a few a little bit quicker. I think we'll just... Yeah, we won't worry about doing any... Actually, no, I'll grab a little bit of grass. We won't worry about doing any flowers just yet, just in case I do add stuff to the floor. But anyway, let's make this look a little bit nicer around here. So the first question is from Tim, who says, how tall am I? I'm 5'8". Second question, Lone Wolf, why don't I use YouTube polls? Bit of a random question, but okay, so I've got to clear something up. YouTube polls aren't the most easy thing for me to use, so sometimes I'll ask a question and say there's a poll up, and then forget to add the poll. I do use them. They are on a couple of my past videos more recently, but they are a difficult thing to add, so occasionally I do forget, which if I do, just let me know in the comments and I'll usually read them and see that I've forgotten, or, you know, the poll isn't correct or something like that. But it's usually there, it's usually in the icon on the top right hand corner, but I don't add them to every video because, I don't know, like I don't ask a question every video. Or sometimes I do ask a question, but I'd rather people type in the comments and answer it there instead. It sometimes makes a lot more sense. I do read the comments, like pretty much every single comment on a video. So, yeah, if you have something to say, I will pretty much read it, guaranteed. So I want it to be longer grass around the actual sides of the houses, I think, for now, and a bit shorter in between. But yeah, this is looking okay, isn't it? Sort of. Yeah, I like it. I'm digging it. Another question from Frankie, who asks, have I ever built my own house in Minecraft? If not, would I consider it? And that is actually something I did think about a long while ago. I think it was around the time when, I don't know, there was this build out that was like inside of a house, but it was huge. It was just massive. Like, it was just ridiculously awesome. And I was like, oh, I wonder how easy it would be to actually make, you know, a copy of a house or even just a building, like block for block. But it's really difficult because you've got to basically think of a room in your house, right? So think of, like, I don't know, your bedroom, for example. And then you've got to think about how big everything is in that room to make it the same, like the right proportions, basically. It's extremely difficult to do, and a lot more effort than I think I would like to put into building anything for now. So I've never done it, probably because it's just a massive pain in the bottom to try and even come up with how to do it properly. And honestly, I don't even know if it would look that good. So I haven't done that, haven't thought about doing it that much. And honestly, if you've ever done it, let me know how well it went. Because honestly, I find it quite a difficult thing to probably build. So we have another question from David, who asks a very, very episode related question. Pretty much the last episode. He asks, why did I use netherrack for this? Because obviously, as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, we have fire tick off on the server, which means basically I can light anything on fire and it won't spread. So I can light this tree on fire right here and it won't spread anywhere. So basically my base is safe from fire right now, which is very nice actually to know, especially since I want to add a lot more trees and I've got a lot of wooden buildings around the place. It's getting very gloomy, by the way. But yes, the reason I made that netherrack there, even though I could have used any block, one, because netherrack, it looks quite like a campfire anyway from underneath. You can sort of see the texture through it, but not enough that it really matters. And also because these worlds are up for download at some point, right? And I always think of it in the way that, what if the settings change when when the world's up for download? So in a way, like, fire could spread if fire tick is turned on, either by the person that is looking around the world. Maybe they want to have the fire tick on, in which case, you know, it'll actually be on fire. Because actually, technically, if people change the fire tick to being off when I've lit a log on fire or something instead, that's not going to be lit for very long, is it? They're going to join the world and then they're going to go to the campfire and it won't be lit up. So yeah, I guess that's sort of a part of the reason. Plus, ultimately, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter, but I just had netherrack on me at the time. Anyway, so that is that question sort of answered there. That'll be the same with anything else I add fire-wise. I'll probably use netherrack. It's also the automatic thing you go to. Right, I'm going to see if there's anywhere else I need to add some detail like this. Maybe up here, actually. I want this to be quite a grassy area. Maybe even... I want to add pods all up here? I don't think so. Maybe if I ever add trees, I might do. But, okay, we have another quick question from Laura Cotton, who says, when did you start Minecraft and why did you get into it? Why do I like it? I don't really have the answer of when I started. I can't actually remember. I'm sure I referenced that in a previous video at some point. But why did I get into it? Why do I like it? Because of the creativity of it. Literally, you can build absolutely anything. Anything your imagination comes up with in your brain, you can come up with. As long as it isn't an exact circle, or even then, technically you can, because there are mods out there that is like circular, right? We should probably also set this off. We haven't set this off in ages. We've probably got actually quite a lot of sugarcane in there. But where's the button actually? It's over here, isn't it, somewhere? Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Boom. There we go. So yeah, I got into Minecraft because I saw how creative it was and how just you could build absolutely anything you wanted. And honestly, that's the kind of game that attracts me. Games where you have literally all the freedom in the world to do whatever you fancy. That's a pretty cool thing to me. It's basically a canvas for me, basically, because I'm a creative person. I like doing creative stuff in general. So having a different kind of canvas is always a nice thing. She also asked what my favourite feature about Minecraft is. I don't know. I mean, I think maybe the elytra. It's so handy when building. I don't have to scaffold anymore. Because I was thinking about that in live stream the other day, just how long it takes me to build things now compared to how long it used to take me. And it saves so much time. I don't even need that many ender pearls anymore, because I fail at ender pearling, actually. If you've seen me recently ender pearling, I'm the worst. Probably because I fly too much, and I'm used to doing that. So yeah, probably the elytra is my overall most favourite thing in Minecraft, just because it opens up so many things. Also, flying's fun, and you also get to see a different view from your base. Because if you ever remember, building stuff, you'd never ever see it from the sky. And honestly, I'd be sad if I couldn't see this from the sky now, as much as it's not the most beautiful view you've ever seen. It is mostly rooftops. I don't know, it makes you build differently as well. Like, I'm definitely thinking of this area in terms of how it looks from above, as well as how it looks from the ground. The only problem with the flying, I find, is that if people do come onto this world once the world is up for download, I don't like the idea that people are just going to fly around. But then again, they probably will, because they'll probably be in creative mode, right? So, I guess, I don't know. I'm trying to build this as much from the floor as from the sky, basically, and making it work in both ways. Anyway, that is the last question I think I have. We've got so much more to do. I didn't actually get as much terrain done as I wanted to. I wanted to sort of get all of this district done. But alas, I have run out of time and run out of questions that I'm going to answer today. Yeah, there were still some more questions, so if you haven't had it answered, come along to a live stream and ask me there, or leave it down in the comments below, and whenever I next need some questions, I will look down there for some to answer in a future episode. And guys, leave a like if you did enjoy it, and maybe we'll do another Q&A a few episodes in the future, who knows. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you did enjoy. I hope this special episode was cool. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. See ya!
When Stanley approached the end of the video, he clicked the subscribe button.